Minister Zadig Abraha, welcome to Conflict Zone.
Thank you very much. Same here.
Last year, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize, and in his acceptance speech, he said the following: "War is the epitome of hell. I know because I have been there and back. I've seen brothers slaughtering brothers, older men, women, children trembling in terror." Now, fast forward 1 year later. He's led a military offensive against the TPLF group in the northern region of Tigray. Thousands are feared dead. Has he led Ethiopia into the hells of war that he described 1 year ago?
Not at all. Abiy is a man of peace. He has deep convictions, and peace in Ethiopia's opportunity to be a peaceful country, because, as you said, he has gone through such ordeals, such difficult times. So his belief on peace is informed by his own personal experience from the get-go. It is not Abiy's choice to go to this war. Abiy left no stone unturned to settle the difference that we had with the TPLF. The TPLF chose to give deaf ears. TPLF was a guerrilla fighting force. Democracy is very aligned element for TPLF. TPLF is used to settle differences by the muzzle of death-dealing weapons. So no matter how Abiy tried to settle the difference through dialogue and discussion, TPLF chose to give Abiy's plea for peace a deaf ear, and here we are.
And we will talk about how you got here, in fact. But for now, I would like to just focus on the situation on the ground, because the UN and NGOs, they say that there is an urgent need right now for independent monitoring of the human rights situation after the international NGO Amnesty International brought to the world's attention the massacre in Maikaidra. They say the following: that there are possibly hundreds of civilians stabbed, hacked to death with knives, machetes. The UN says that if a party to this conflict was involved, it would constitute a war crime. Again, this is an international NGO that brought this incident to the world's attention. Would it not be advisable to have an independent international investigation and monitoring of what is happening right now in Tigray on the ground?
The days of us waiting for some Western institution to come and nod in approval to what we have done or not is gone. We have an independent human rights commission headed by the former Human Rights Watch Director for Africa. His resume is as good as any in the world. He has released his reports, which meets global standards, and he can consult the report. And I suspect that this question is coming from the deeply held conviction that Africans cannot administer their own issues, cannot build effective institutions that are out there to impartially investigate human rights violations.
I think that the issue that is being brought up is not that that Africans can't administer it. It's that you are one of the parties to the conflict, in fact, and your government's response, in fact, to those calls for international investigations has been, and I'm quoting here, "We do not need a babysitter. We will invite assistance only if the government feels that it had failed to investigate." Again, you're one of the parties to the conflict. That doesn't sound like transparency.
Are we the one who released the investigation? It's not us. It is an independent human rights commission led by Daniel Bekele, who was just 2 years down the line head of Human Rights Watch for Africa. His resume of as good as any global standard. So I don't think anyone from Amnesty International or Human Rights Watch will be better than Daniel Bekele's credibility and his investigative power. So he has to read the report before asking any question. I would like you to go and read his investigation. So just in case you have questions, challenge him. Instead of blatantly claiming that we are parties to the conflict, Daniel Bekele and his Human Rights Commission are not parties to this conflict.
Let's look at some of these allegations more deeply, and I'd just like to take you through them. The TPLF, for example, they claim that your forces have been party to the violence. Refugees who have made it to Sudan, they also echo those claims. For example, CNN spent a number of days interviewing refugees who were crossing over the border into Sudan, and they described the following. The Ethiopian army entering into a town, telling civilians they are safe. Then the soldiers leave, and other armed groups, such as the Amhara militia, the Fano, aligned with the Ethiopian army, arrive. There are concerns that this is descending into an ethnic conflict, the conflict in Tigray. Is the Fano being brought in to finish the Tigrayans, as one refugee described it?
That's very wrong. Amharans and Tigrayans have lived together for thousands of years. Wherever our army makes its way in Tigray, people of Tigray have been coming out in mass, chanting and welcoming our soldiers. Our Amhara special police defended itself. TPLF special police attacked the Amhara police, crossing the administrative delineation of the TPLF, the Tigray region. So what Amhara special forces did is defend themselves.
Do you acknowledge the presence of the Fano? Because a spokesperson, for example, for your government, at first denied the existence of the Fano militia, but then confusingly acknowledged that the militia of the Amhara region were engaged to the extent of securing border towns between the two regions. And you have refugees describing this fear of this force. Are they there?
Fano and the Amhara militias are two different groups. Fano is a youth group. The youth group is not anywhere in Tigray. It is the Amhara militias, together with its police, were attacked by the TPLF military establishment, and then they were forced to defend themselves. That's what it is. They are not killing anyone. In fact, we are rescuing the Tigray people from the TPLF, which was taking hostage of them for more than 2 years. So this is not an ethnic conflict. This is rather a enforcement operation. There is no way for this conflict to descend itself into ethnic conflict. This is not even a civil war by any standard.
Let's look at another claim, because you say that it's a law and order operation, as you've just articulated right now. But there is growing fear that the conflict, in fact, is drawing in regional actors, for example, Eritrea, and could impact regional stability. The U.S. cites the following. They say that they are aware of credible reports of the Eritrean military involvement in Tigray, and that they view this as a grave development. As we mentioned earlier, Prime Minister Abiy, he made peace with Eritrea. That is part of what won him the Nobel Peace Prize. Are they now an ally that has helped you fight your military offensive?
Not at all. You know, our military establishment has been engaged in many African countries and in peacekeeping missions. We are more than capable of dealing with the TPLF. So it is an insult to our military establishment to say that we are depending on the help of Eritrean army. I can assure you in 100% terms, in 1001% terms, there are no Eritrean armies operating in Tigray now.
I'm wondering, though, how you can assure in 100% terms when the Americans say that they have satellite images, they say intercepted communications, anecdotal reports from the region. Also add to that, we know Eritrea, for example, just for context, is a country that has long faced accusations of large-scale human rights abuses, and there are about 100,000 Eritrean refugees that are located in Tigray. So there's a lot at stake here. The United Nations says the following. Over the last month, we have received an overwhelming number of disturbing reports from Eritrean refugees in Tigray being killed, being abducted, being forcibly returned to Eritrea. And if confirmed, these actions would constitute a major violation of international law. These are horrifying reports. Can you not guarantee their safety? And how could you say this with 100%?
We are the third largest host of refugees globally. We are known for hosting refugees with all due respect. That is very flawed and wrong information. The Eritrean refugees are well taken care of here. If there is no Eritrean army operating in Tigray, so there is no way for the Eritrean military establishment to come and attack refugees. If that was the case, would have been the first to stand against it and then make sure that the refugees are safe. That is very wrong. That is very false information. You know, with TPLF gone, Horn of Africa is way better than ever. TPLF was one of the reasons behind the instability of the Horn. Now it is being reduced, disseminated into leaders running for their lives. Horn of Africa is safe.
Mr. Minister, I'd just like to bring it back to the actions of your government, though, because your government says that it's returning, in fact, Eritrean refugees that had fled in the northern region of Tigray. Human Rights Watch says that it's unacceptable. The UN calls those reports alarming. So you're essentially returning people that fled in fear. Many of them went to the capital. They're afraid of being exposed to Eritrean violence. How do you explain that to the world amid these reports, amid these fears from these refugees?
You know, we can only do anything with the consultation of the refugees. Tigray is now safe. We have taken control of each and every village of Tigray, all cities of Tigray. So, you know, refugees should stay in a certain delimited place. We have well-built refugee camps in Tigray, and they are safe. They are once again safe to welcome the refugees. That's what it is. And it's not being done forcefully. Ethiopian government believes in consultation with refugees. It believes refugees need to be respected and their human rights respected. So that's not our reputation. We'll never undermine that.
You say that it's a safe and stable situation, but we have reports of 4 aid workers that have been killed, a UN security team seeking access near an Eritrean camp for refugees was also shot at by your forces. That doesn't look good. How is it possible that a UN team could not be coordinated in the region? Or are you afraid or were you afraid of what they might see?
If you happen to read the settlement issued by the UN Human Refugees Commission just a day or two days ago, they have asked for an apology. This is a technical problem. The UN staffers were not supposed to go to a certain place.
Ummata keessan qabsoo bilisummaa irratti miidhame gargaara. Oda keessan gumaacha waamicha natoo gargaarsaa Oromiyaa waltajjii marii Oromiyaa iddila addunyaa Oromiyaa Global Forumiin qophaa'e. Oromoon mootummaa abbaa irree Koloneel Abiyyiin ajjeefamaa hidhamaa jira. Haa ta'u malee manni keenya hacuuccaa sirna nafxanyaa irratti ijaaramuuf deemaa jiru kana suduudhaaf kallattiin ofirraa qolataa jira. Wareegamaa lafee fi dhiiga ilmaan Oromoon qabsoo goonfatee irraa butuun sirna Oromiyaaf Oromoo hacuucuu irratti kan dhaabbanne aarsaa ga'u kaffalataa jira. Haa ta'u malee deemsa qabsoo bilisummaa Oromoo uummanni Oromoo biyyaa falmataa jiruuf deeggarsi godhamu gahaa miti. Kanaafi waltajjiin marii Oromiyaa iddila addunyaa yookiin Oromiyaa Global Forumiin mata keessan qabsoo bilisummaa Oromoo irratti miidhame gargaara. Oda keessan gumaacha jechuun matoo gargaarsa miidhamtoota qabsoo bilisummaa Oromoof kan ta'u Oddee 19 bara 2020 sa'aa dura sa'aa 11 aga waaree booda sa'aa 3 akka lakkoofsa deessitti horoo sassaabuudhaaf goofandii qindeessee karaa toora zuumiitiin qopheessee jira. Maarreen ummata keessan qabsoo bilisummaa Oromoo irratti miidhame gargaara oda keessan gumaacha. Gargaarsi kun karaa waltajjii marii Oromiyaa iddila addunyaa kin Oromiyaa Global Forumiin kan qophaa'u waggaa kana keessatti miiliyoona tokko sassaabuuf kan karoorfame damtoota siyaasaaf abukaatoo madoo fi wallaansa maatii abbaan warraa irraa hidhamee ajjeefame daa'imman abbaaf malee hafaniif qonnaan bulaa ooyiruu fi manni irratti gubateef ijaarsa kan ta'u barattoota barnoota idilee isaanii irraa hanqifamaniif akkasumas immoo miidhaa Oromoof Oromiyaa irra ga'u addunyaa biratti sagalee akka taasisuuf kan oolu gargaarsa natoo Oromiyaa qabsoo bilisummaa Oromoo irratti miidhame gargaaruuf kan qophaa'e. Kanaafuu isin lammiileen Oromoo hunduu kottaa mata keessan qabsoo bilisummaa Oromoo irratti miidhame gargaara. Oda keessanis gumaacha. Guyyaa kana Muddee 19 bara 2020 ganama waaree dura sa'a 11 waaree boodaa sa'a 3 akka lakkoofsa DC'tti horoon sassaabama karaa goofandeetiin akkasumas immoo kallattii kan biraatiinis deeggarsi bifatti taasifamu waldaan kun marii kanarratti isinii ibsa. Maarree isinis qooda keessan ba'a. Ergaa kanas lammiilee Oromoof Oromiyaaf qamaniin qaqqabsiisa. Nu hunduu waliin birmannee Oromoof Oromiyaa haa baraaru. Waltajjii marii Oromiyaa iddila addunyaa Oromiyaa Global Forum.
Waamicha harmee ayyaa hundaan nageessisuufiyyaa naagdir maddaan jetti almandiyaa haa gumaachuu namuu waan dandayaa.